Hey everybody, welcome back, and if you're new, my name is Chris. It is a haul video today. It's out with the old and in with the new. I think I've picked up around 10 to 12 fragrances in the past month or so. So if you want to see what I've picked up for the summer, keep watching. The first fragrance on the list is the biggest surprise of them all. I think most of you have heard of this fragrance and many of you probably own it. And I was never interested in it and I never smelled it because anytime someone would talk about it, I would hear the words soapy white floral. And those are words that I don't like in a fragrance. Those are the words that scare me. I just happened to be at my local Ulta. I was actually trying to smell the original Poison and it wasn't there. And over right next to some other fragrances was Pure Poison. And I thought, what the heck, let's give it a sniff. And I couldn't believe how much I really like this. Actually, I love this fragrance. If you don't know what this smells like, this is a clean, fresh, bright, light fragrance, light floral with a sweet, soapy touch. And I think it's actually there's some sandalwood and I believe a little bit of amber in this. And it's just enough to kind of smooth those white florals out and smooth any of the soapy notes so it's not too piercing. It's beautiful. I love it. I will be wearing this a ton in the warmer months, and I think this is actually one that I will be wearing year round when I just want to smell clean and fresh and light and bright. So perfect, beautiful surprise for my first one. Next up is a fragrance thanks to my beautiful friend Linae. We did a little sample swap, and when I smelled this one, it went straight to the top of my list. It's a beautiful amber fragrance, and if you like amber, I can't imagine you not liking this one, but I picked it up right away. And it's by the house of Gallivant, and it's called Istanbul. So beautiful, beautiful amber scent. I would characterize this as a sweet, creamy, ambery vanilla with a light aromatic touch. And the aromatics in this, I believe, are lavender and thyme. Give it just enough of a brightness to keep it from being too heavy. Sometimes ambers can be really heavy. So this is a perfect amber. This is an all year round amber, but definitely one that's good for the warmer months or the warmer days. And even though it kind of sits close, I can definitely smell it all day. It does sit close. It lasts all day. This has really great staying power. So yeah, I love this one. Istanbul by Gallivant. Next up is a fragrance that's truly magical. It's the only one I blind bought, and it's one that I've had my eye on a bunch, and it's getting some airtime because it's a re-release of a very special fragrance. It's by the house of Xerjoff. It's from their Casimirati line, and it is called Italica. So, I love a sweet almond. I don't care for kind of a bitter almond. So when I heard this was a sweet almond, I was all over it. And so, yes, I was naughty. I bought it blindly. And like I said, this is a magical fragrance because when you first smell it, I mean, for me, I'm thinking this is the best gourmand I've ever smelled in my life. It is like a beautiful almond marzipan dessert with some milky, sweet, creamy notes. There's actually milk and toffee in this fragrance. And then about 30 minutes later, like magic, it disappears. Kind of like my youth and collagen levels. Anywho, so yeah, after about the 30-minute mark, I'm not smelling much. And boy, I was really disappointed. I know this is the real thing. I bought it from the Xerjoff website. And the first day I sprayed it, a couple hours later, I actually went hiking and went for a hike. And I was wearing the same clothes I wore when I was spraying it. And about an hour into the hike, I ran into this cute little family. And they were standing a little bit downwind from me, maybe about 10, 15 feet. And they were asking for directions. And one of the little girls said, "Oh, you smell so good." So I don't know if it's just me and I have become anosmic to this, or whether it just doesn't project well on me. I don't know. The jury's still out on this. I've worn it a couple times. Each time I've worn it, I've loved it in the beginning and just can't smell it after about a half an hour or an hour. I'm not going to give up on this. I actually sent this to a couple different people. One of my friends said same thing happened to her. I haven't heard from the other friend. And my other friend, Veronica, is about to get a sample sent to her. So we'll see if it's just me or it's the fragrance. But I'm not going to give up. I'm going to layer this one. I'm going to find a nice, sweet, like a vanilla almond body cream. And I'm going to try and layer these and see if I can get this to perform better on me. So yeah, that's my take on Italica by Xerjoff. Next up is a fabulous summer freshie, and it's one by a house I've been exploring recently. The house is Miller & Bertaux, and this is called Menta EDT. I love mint. I love peppermint, spearmint, all types of mint. Reminds me of kind of a spa. And when I got the sample, I fell head over heels in love with it. I loved the freshness. I love the realism of it. It's a very realistic mint. Does have other notes in here. There's some sort of citrus. There's a citrusy note or take or accord. There is jasmine. It's a very light, I think it's jasmine. It's a white floral. It's very light, very nice, very polite in the background. And apparently there's a note of coffee or ground coffee. I get none of that. I don't get any of that. I get mint, citruses, and jasmine. It's a light fragrance. It's something in between a strong body mist and a light perfume. I wore this a couple times. The second time I wore it, I really kind of oversprayed, and I could smell it for several hours, especially if I was moving my hands or moving around. I was actually in an exercise class, and I smelled it the whole time. So just for mint lovers, this could be a really, really, really good one, especially if you don't like the type of perfumes that smell like toothpaste. Love it. And it's great for really, really hot days, I think. On a super hot day when you don't want to be overwhelmed by a strong fragrance, this is the one I'm going to be wearing. Yeah, Menta EDT. Next up on the list is a fragrance by the House of Xerjoff, and it's also from the Casa Morati line. But unlike Italica, I actually smelled this beforehand, and it's been on my wish list for several months, and I finally just purchased it. And it's called Dolce Amalfi. And I was originally interested in this because it is a quince-centered fragrance, and I thought it was interesting because this has quince and amber and vanilla. And so, yeah, when I smelled it, I fell in love with it. So what I get from this is a warm, sweet, spicy, ambery fragrance with like a stewed quince or a stewed apple. I think quince and apple smell very similar, but yeah, it's really, really, really nice. It's a very rich and thick fragrance. The spices in here are cardamom and saffron, I believe. And as it's drying down, there's a very noticeable, unmistakable clove note. And if you don't like clove, this is not going to be your cup of tea, because I really smell the clove, and I like clove. I like it more when it's mixed with, you know, amber and vanilla like it is in here. It's absolutely beautiful. And as it dries down, the woods kind of take over. Typically, fruity fragrances remind me of summer, and I thought this would be a really good summer fragrance. but the amber and the vanilla kind of weighed it down a little bit. So I will be wearing this a lot in the winter time. That's right, this also has some saffron in it. I'll be wearing it a lot in the winter. I will wear it in the summer if I'm going somewhere that's air conditioned, because I think just wearing it when it's 90 degrees outside probably won't be the best time to wear this one. But yeah, I'll wear it maybe at night, maybe going out somewhere air conditioned. Yeah, so that's Dolce Amalfi. Next up is a fragrance by Parfum de Nicolai, or Nicolai Parfums. And this one is a surprise because I ordered the Discovery set last fall, maybe late last fall. And it was one of the only Discovery sets that I've ever purchased that nothing in this Discovery set kind of spoke to me, and I didn't buy any of them. I didn't want a full bottle of any of them. And I think it was either that purchase or a purchase I made after that, I got like a card sample of this fragrance, and it's called Fig Tea. And I got this, you know, as a free sample, and the sample just sat there for months. It sat there for months and months because I just assumed that I wasn't going to like it. And just on a whim, I smelled it, and I was really surprised because I loved it. I thought it's a great, great fragrance. And this has been around for a long time. So this is very different than my other fig fragrances, which I've already put away for the colder months. You know, let's see. L'Artisan, my L'Artisan one, it's Premier Fig. That one, to me, just kind of reads fall. And my BDK Fig one. So, Gris Charnel, yeah. That is a cold weather fragrance to me. So, this one's very different. It's very light, it's very bright, it's very airy. And there is a heavy note of osmanthus in this. And osmanthus smells like apricot. So I kind of get, what I get out of this fragrance is a sweet orange, apricot, herbal tea with a little bit of a spice or just a bitter kick. Very, very subtle, but it's absolutely beautiful. And I think there's a floral note in here. I think there might be some jasmine, but it's beautiful. I love it. And I'm really, really happy with it. It's going to be one of those super easy reaches in the warm months. Like, I would probably wear this in more of a casual setting. It's just light and bright and airy and fresh and inoffensive. Perfectly unisex. It's gorgeous. I love it. Yeah, Fig Tea. The next fragrance is a fragrance I have to thank because one of my subscribers, and her name is Sammy, and she sends me wonderful samples because she knows what type of fragrances I like. And she sent me this fragrance because she knows I love lemon. And this fragrance is called Hermes Voyage de Hermes, and this is the Parfum version. And yet again, she was right. I wanted a full bottle right away. So this fragrance is based on lemon, but it's also based on cardamom, some tea, and spices. But mainly what I get is lemon, cardamom, and spicy notes, and a little bit of tea. Beautiful, gorgeous, very fresh. Lemon forward, cardamom forward for sure. If you don't like those notes, stay away from this one. Fortunately, I love those notes. So it's perfectly unisex, very light. It's light but strong at the same time. This, when I wear it, it lasts all day and it has quite a presence. But because it's got that nice lemon note, it's not overwhelming, and I don't think it overwhelms those around you. Love this one. It's great. So if you love lemon and cardamom, boy, you should check this one out, especially for the summer months. I think it's a great one. The next fragrance is a beautiful bonus I got when I purchased my Fig Tea from Nicolai Parfumeur. They actually included this one. I think they were having a special at the time. So if you bought anything from Nicolai Parfumeur, you got a free 30 ounce of, no, this is a 15 ounce of another fragrance. And this is the one I got. It's Eau de Yuzu. Talk about a great free gift. Isn't it fun when they're free gifts you actually really, really like? I love this one. This one is a love. I've only worn it a couple times, so I did have to write the notes down. I'm getting to know all of these. All of these I've worn at least a couple times. Some of them I've worn more than a handful. This one in particular, I think I've only worn a couple times. But yeah, so I'm still getting to know it, but it's a beautiful citrusy fragrance. So the notes are yuzu, grapefruit, lemon leaf, juniper, and black pepper. And what I get straight off the bat is just this burst of yuzu, grapefruit, and lemon or lemon leaf, one of those. It's an utter dream. It's so, so nice. If I didn't say it already, it's unisex. It's very, very refreshing. It's a beautiful, refreshing fragrance. As it dries down, I think I get juniper more in the dry down as it's drying down, and some sort of, it's not quite patchouli, but I feel like I get vetiver. I'm not sure the vetiver's in there, but it smells vetiver light to me. And in the base, there's patchouli, and I think there's a little bit of oud. It's still very, very light and pleasant. It's just more like a pleasant, citrusy, woody fragrance. The surprising thing is citrusy fragrances don't really last long on me, particularly in the heat, but this one does. This one lasts all day. I sprayed it, and I think I was still smelling it 10 hours later. So what a wonderful surprise this is. I would highly, highly recommend this one. So Eau de Yuzu by Nicolai Parfumeur. The next fragrance I picked up at the cosmetics company store. I'm a regular there. Fortunately or unfortunately, it's literally 5 minutes from my house. It's dangerous. It's kind of like Costco. You go there to save money, and then you end up, you know, with a basket full of groceries that you don't need, spending $300. The cosmetics company store is kind of like that. It's trouble for me. They have so many good things there, and the deals are so great that I end up just getting bags and bags full of things. But this one was a recent pickup, and this was actually kind of guilt-free shopping because this one was very inexpensive, and it's by Michael Kors, and it's called Exotic Blossom. So this one was in the clearance section, originally marked $68, and I ended up getting it at 75% off, I think, and I think I paid $17 or $18, something for it. Amazing, amazing deal. This one's very pleasant, and the notes in here are, I think they're listed as mango, rose, and musk. And to be honest, I get more of an orange, lily of the valley, and musk, or like it's a mango orange scent. It's very, very pleasant. It's very, very nice. It's very fresh and clean. It's like fresh out of the shower, fresh and clean. Lovely. I think I spritzed this on really quickly just to go to church last week, and my daughter smelled me. She said, "Oh, Mom, you smell so good. You smell so fresh and clean." So it's a great fresh and clean fragrance. Would I pay $68 for this? Probably not. Actually, the answer is no. I wouldn't. It really doesn't last long. If you want a scent that's fresh and clean for a couple of hours, like 2 to 3 hours, this one's a good one. If you want this to last 6 or 8 hours, this is not the one. But if you can pick it up for, I would spend $30 on it. I think it's a good fragrance for $30 or less. So yeah, this is a really nice one for the warm months. Exotic Blossom. Next up is a fragrance I would describe as a happy, fresh, fruity floral, and it's a fragrance that I just happened to see when I went to Ulta recently, and I was just sniffing fragrances. I sniffed this one, I really liked it, and I bought it that day. And it's by Dolce & Gabbana, and it's called Shine. Now, I don't know if you saw my very first declutter video way back in January, and I was so sad that I had to declutter Garden. At the atomizer and on the test strip, I loved Garden because I love coconut. It just did not smell nice on my skin, so I had to declutter that. But I was very happy that I was able to pick up this one. So, yeah, the notes in here are, the fruits are mango, grapefruit, basically mango, grapefruit, maybe lemon. That's kind of what I get. So there's some florals in here. I think there's jasmine and orange blossom. And to me, basically what I get is a kind of like a nice fruit smoothie or fruit drink meets a very nice shampoo. That's kind of the vibe I get from this. This does have some interesting notes, particularly in the dry down. This has some ozonic notes and some solar notes, and I think it has sea salt. And those can kind of go in the wrong direction for me. If they're too heavy, they start to smell like Tupperware on me. Fortunately, this doesn't quite get into that zone for me. It stays perfectly balanced and fresh and warm and summery. It does smell like, if you've ever been, these aquatic and solar notes and the sea salt smells like when you're at a beach in the summer and it's really hot. You're standing right in the sand, not quite in the water, and that ocean air is kind of hitting you. That's that smell that I pick up in here. Not a big fan of aquatic scents in general, but this one I like because there's florals and fruit to kind of balance it out. So yeah, a really, really nice, happy, summer freshy. It dries down musky, so you have to like musk, but this is a really nice one. This will be an easy reach. Yeah, shine. The last two on my list are the fragrances that I know the least, and they are by Urban Outfitters. And I was naughty. I bought them just because they were inexpensive, even though I told you I wasn't going to be doing that. I bought that before I came to that epiphany. But when they're really, really, really inexpensive, I don't feel so badly because I kind of have in mind that I have a young daughter who's just now getting into perfumes, and which is not unusual because I started liking perfumes when I was 8. And so I thought if I didn't like these, I would go ahead and give them to her because they're very, very light and inoffensive. And the first one is called Lait de Coco, and I love coconut. I'm telling you, if there's a coconut fragrance, I'm going to buy it. And if it's a coconut fragrance for $18, that's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, I can smell it right now. It's very pleasant. This is the type of coconut that you get in like a coconut shampoo or a coconut tanning oil. It's that type of coconut. It's not super realistic, but it's pleasant and nice and sweet. Very, very light. This is more like a body spray. So if you want a nice, strong coconut scent, this is not it. I mean, this one I'm going to really have to overspray to smell, which is fine. You know, it's good for if you're a student, if you're a teacher, you know, if you work in healthcare and you don't want to be too overwhelming. This one I think would be a good one. It's nice. It kind of sits close to you and people probably won't smell you unless you're like my friend Gabby at the Fragrantician who sprays 36 times. Then you can probably be smelled by other people if you do that. But yeah, so pleasant. And for $18, it was kind of no guilt shopping. So yeah, I'm okay with this one. Lait de Coco. Last one on the list is another fragrance by Urban Outfitters. And this one is called Noir Distille or Distille. And I think this used to be called Whiskey Noir. This one is stronger than Lait de Coco. And this one has notes of black coconut, amber, and whiskey vanilla. So I actually like this. This is pretty in my opinion. What I get is a light amber, patchouli, vanilla fragrance. I don't really get any coconut. Maybe just a tad, maybe a touch of coconut. It's really pretty. Like I say, I like it better than Lait de Coco. It's light, but not that light. And it would be nice. This would be good for, because it's not too heavy. It would be good for, evenings out in the summer, or you could wear this in the colder months. But I will wear this in the hotter days, maybe like on a date, or if I'm going to be somewhere air conditioned. But yeah, for $18, I'm telling you, I'm kind of happy with this one. I think this one was a good purchase. So yeah, Noir, Distille, if you like those type of fragrances, I think you might like this one. So that was everything. That was my mostly summer haul. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned some things, and thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you on the next one.